Just ahead on the ComaCast Live, Merck says an experimental pill will cut the worst effects of COVID-19. Also, we're going to be talking about some bizarre gay stock photos. They may help you feel a bit more normal because, well, there's some weird ones out there. Plus, we're going to have the Showbiz Top 5 and some trending TikTok videos that will have you talking. Plus, you'll find out what we did this week. Well, Matt probably was doing some more studying for nursing school, and while he was doing that, I was out partying at Alanis Morissette. Well, we'll talk about all of that coming up now on the ComaCast Live.
Podcasting from the Lone Star State in Southern California, you're listening to the Coma Podcast with Cody and Matt.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to our show. We're glad you are here and you are joining us for the show. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can, of course, listen to us. And if you're listening to us, you can watch us, the replay, whatever, every Friday at 5. We thank everybody who is here so far in the chat. Chris, hi. How are you? Matt, I haven't got to talk to you much this week. I've missed you.
Well, when we did talk, you were out at concerts and off doing things, and I was checked off this week that I can give medications now.
Oh,
so I can give injections.
That's exciting.
I got checked off on that. We learn a skill and we have a couple weeks to practice it, and then we have to demonstrate it in a one-to-one with our instructors, where we go through the various medications and practice them. And I am now certified. Oh, I guess not really certified, but it's like a skills check-off thing they do for us.
Yeah. That's super exciting.
So this coming week is a physical assessment, which you'd think would have been done first, but it's kind of extensive. It's like head to toe. It's a little, it's just a lot. Not necessarily hard, just a lot to remember. But a week or two after that, how to do catheterization as well as discontinue them. So that's what's coming.
Wow.
If you don't know what that means, it kind of means if you can't pee, it means they put, some like a tube in and help you go. It's not painful, but it's not comfortable. It's it's a little uncomfortable. A lot of times when they put in, somebody is likely unconscious. For a lot of situations, but just depends on what's going on. Generally, if you need something like that, you're probably more thankful for the catheter than without, because you just want the pressure to be over and just be able to go. Good. Yeah. Matt can come give me shots now. I have helped Chris before medically when he had a motorcycle accident in, I want to say 2010. Chris had a motorcycle accident and scared the ever-living shit out of all of us. And he's like,
"Oh, volunteer."
Well, he fell and said, "Hey, I can't get into my doctor for a few hours. Can you clean me up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So over with first aid kit. It was, just places maybe. That is not what walked through the door. Chris was in rough shape.
Well, at least
but his doctor said I did a really cleaning him up.
Yes. The big one was 2012.
The big one. Yeah, so I was already gone from Orlando for that one, but the one he came over for in 2010 was not pretty. But yeah. But that's been my week while Cody was out gallivanting around.
I know. We kind of mentioned it last week that I had done like On Your Feet, Gloria Estefan a musical. I did Hair the musical. Then I was at Rufus Wainwright concert. And then, of course, on Thursday we did Alanis Morissette. I mean, it's kind of been nice to like get back out and do things because we didn't do anything for a full year. And my whole plan for 2020, if you were around in the podcast, we mentioned it at the time. My whole plan for 2020 was we were going to just do a lot of stuff. We were going to go see a lot of things, do a lot of things, be involved in a lot of things. And well, that got cut off pretty quickly because then obviously Justin got really sick at the end of January.
We were recording live at the time. Like we were recording and releasing same day. We still do that at times, but now we kind of will. If there's something we really want to do, but we don't know when we want to release it, we'll go ahead and record it. We were not technologically there in the beginning of 2020 when we launched. So we were like, oh, and Cody was like, oh, I'm going to come home and see my family in a month or two. I'll come home and see my family. I'll come down to San Antonio and see you. We'll hang out. And I was like, well, that's great. I'll just come up there and spend a week up there by you. So we were going to get to hang out, record a few episodes. And I was hoping to do some things, that we would do for the podcast from your hometown, because it's not San Antonio. And, it's not as a well-known of a city. So I thought it'd be really fun to just kind of put that out there. Then COVID. And, yeah.
It ruined everything. It ruined everything.
How was the end of that? And we're like, how are we going to do this? Because while we were recording, everybody went work from home and school from home. So internet connection was super unstable. God, some of those episodes took 3-4 hours to record. Plus, you still had your normal things that go wrong when you're recording and practicing. And if you've ever recorded anything or prepped anything, if it can go wrong, it'll go wrong. And COVID is still ruining pretty much everything, but we've learned how to work around and adapt and just do things. And it's at least we can at least function again. But I don't know. A lot of the whole thing is like, I won't live in fear. I'm like, I literally just put on a mask and washed my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of
that's one of the nice things out here. Is San Diego County is around 80% vaccinated. And so everywhere in Southern California is pretty vaccinated, California in general, except the rural areas. It's funny, when we had the election just a few weeks ago for Gavin Newsom's recall election, the areas that voted to recall him have high numbers of COVID. The areas that chose to keep Governor Newsom had lower levels of COVID.
Wow,
Republican,
what a shock.
Democrat. Interesting. But the one thing I am excited, doing all these things is that with the people being pretty highly vaccinated in the area, also just people voluntarily wear their masks. So if you go to the grocery store, most people are wearing masks. You go out anywhere, most people are wearing masks. Just as kind of a normal thing here, where it's not in Texas, it's not in Florida. Those places are still on fire. Also, a lot of these places require masks to be worn during the shows and for you to present your vaccine card or a proof of COVID test. So, out here, it's like, in order for us to be able to do these things, we're like, oh, we want all these things put into place and instituted and everything. Another thing that was exciting today, for me, I guess, for California, is all school children will have to be vaccinated if they meet the requirements. Obviously, right now, it's not younger children yet, but the state went ahead and said, oh, we're going to just go ahead and put this in a mandate. It'll be part of the mandates, vaccines. So
I'm just really tired of hearing everybody complain about how, like, oh, it's went so fast. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when billions of dollars and there's a global push from all around the world to work on something, and it got accomplished with technology that is already existing. But when you have literally every one of the world's best minds working on something, progress gets made pretty fucking fast. But this was out for this long. It was also like 1970, 80, early 90s, whatever, insert whatever year. And I'm just really tired of hearing that. And I'm really tired of hearing it from like my peers. There was an article from a nurse in New York saying that, so the school, like, for example, my school cannot require us to be vaccinated. They recommended it. They encourage us to be, but you cannot mandate it. However, the hospital can. So if the hospital mandates that you be vaccinated, they'll try to move you to a clinical site that doesn't require it yet. But if all the hospitals end up requiring it, that we have partnerships with, that we're allowed to go be present at, if you can't do your clinical hours, you disqualify yourself unless you have an actual exemption. Mm-hmm. And this nursing student, she's a CNA as well. And so according to her, she has had prior adverse reactions to vaccinations when she was younger. So she doesn't want this one because she's afraid of the adverse reactions. And I don't think the article does a really good job explaining that. Now, I know people don't want to put out their medical information and they don't feel like they should have to. However, this is a global pandemic. If you're going to trot your ass out there and say, I am the one of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of people who have this thing that's going to turn me into something or make me suddenly magnetic. I think you then say it, because if it is legitimate, you could be putting out there, because if there are legitimate issues, then we should know about them, because they need further researched, and those might be the people that need an exemption. But when you're out there saying like, oh, I have a condition that says I can't wear a mask. What's your condition? I don't need to tell you that. So you have plenty of oxygen to be a huge bitch, but you don't have the motor skills or patience to wear a mask. Right.
Yeah, I mean, those are going to be the same people that aren't handicapped, that park in handicapped parking spots. It's the same types of people, it seems, and they're in all areas of
and you know what all their Facebook profiles say and all their Twitters? I've looked at this. Every single one of them I encounter, they always say Christian in the profile, and they're always sports fans. It's the weirdest thing, like obsessive sports fans. Like their whole Twitter feed will be likes and retweets and commentary about a sport, usually football, followed by baseball, and then go on to how, you know, Christian loving they are, while saying it's totally okay. This mask is nothing, and all these people can die. And I'm like, yeah, that's the pretty Christian take on it. That's literally what Christianity and all religions have done to each other for our entire recorded history. Just killed each other and said, but not my Jesus. Oh, no, hold on. Hold on. Let's look at a history book.
Chris says, well, in Florida where I live, they're going to pull some religious crap to get out of getting the vaccine. I know there's the religious exemption that you can potentially have, but it is interesting. There's no religion that has come out and said that that is even a thing for them. You know, the Pope's come out and said, get the vaccine. The Mormons have come out and said, get the vaccine. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking about niche places that say, you know, that they don't believe in science or medical, intervention for anything. Like,
that's one of the things we were talking about, I think, a few weeks ago, talking about these people. Would they be able to get these exemptions? Because in some places, you're going to have to show that if it's a religious exemption, you're going to have to show that there has been a continual thing in your past that you basically haven't taken previous vaccines. It can't just be all of a sudden you're doing this. Also, you have to point to your religion that is saying this. And all basic religions, denominations in America have said get the vaccine. So, they don't even have anything to like lay up on. So, obviously, some states are more lenient.
So it sounds like what's happening here is that people are inadvertently going to learn to critically question religion. Weird. Now, what do you think is going to happen from that when we trace back to the beginning of it, where at no point in the Bible does it say to refuse intervention? And it even says there are actually, okay, so it is in the Bible. Well, since, I'm the atheist here and I'm the sinner, the great sinner, in the Bible it does talk about infection and disease. Now, what happened? Does anybody here know what happened to the lepers? Cody, do you know? You went to private school.
They were stoned.
What else happened to them? There's one more. If they weren't stoned, what happened to them?
Well, they were outcast. They potentially were killed.
They were banished. Now, the ones that people were walking around, they intended that, wear a mask, cover the base of your mouth, they knew even then to at least cover your damn mouth. So what's going to happen? People continually to start questioning, and they're like, we can't believe the pews are emptying.
I saw.
I think we can. That's why they're the minority now.
A report out recently from some Republican individuals who do polling and just looking at the future voter base. And again, we're seeing most of these deaths that are now occurring end up being conservative people who did vote for Trump in the previous election. But there's been a marked number that you can now start seeing of death in those communities where the percentage is now dropping. So they're like killing their own voters. And that's why you see a lot of them like coming out saying, get the vaccine. Mitch McConnell, even this week, said, get the booster. Because
like, I'm not laughing at death. Like I'm really not. It just, it's like, While the same fucking pro-life party and my stupid ass over here is like, I want everybody to wear a mask because I don't want people to die. I don't really care what you believe in. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to leave your kids homeless because your fucking asshole cohorts are not the ones out there adopting kids or making it possible for more people to adopt kids.
Well, and and a lot of times the mom and the dad are been dying in these families,
and
and then
it's
just
horrible. And yeah, are the people probably awful people? Sure, but are they also putting food on the table and feeding their child and caring for them? Yes. And so now you have more children upon more children being put into other family members' care. Maybe there is no other family to care for them, or the family isn't able because a child is no even my grandparents got me at 10, and had the state not provided Medicaid, which covered literally everything that you can think of, plus they gave them a few $100s a month to cover some other expenses, and it still cost them a lot because have you ever fed a 12-year-old? Have you ever seen a 12-year-old boy eat? Oh my God. So these are stressors on a system that Medicaid could really benefit. But you know what? Like here in Texas, they did not expand Medicaid. So, like, the pro-life fucking party has just literally screwed everybody every chance they got, while also voting to put God back in schools, because it's not creepy at all to stand there and say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. That's not weird at all. Totally not weird, to say under God, even though it was only added in the 50s.
Yeah,
totally. This is totally normal, not weird, and, not at all odd. Like, did you know Texas apparently has their own pledge?
They do.
I don't know it, and I can tell you I refuse to learn it. Because that's
I knew
stupid.
it. I think we did say it. I think we said in elementary school. I think we said,
yeah, that makes sense.
Pledge the flag, and then the Texas pledge.
Yeah, like, does anybody say these things out loud and critically think about them? Like, you guys are just really having fun with me tonight. This is just, I didn't come when I'm tired. Like that airy fairy bullshit, Matt, that I just get to be nice because I have the energy to be, is one person. This is just...
we're going to talk more about COVID in a little bit and some news headlines, because there is some like actually really good news. But when I was texting Matt last night, I was like texting him from the concert. And so at the concert was Alanis Morissette and also Garbage. Now, so this was all like 90s stuff, and it was interesting. We were sitting in the car waiting, and
I almost died when you sent me that. I looked at I had to stare at my phone and go, he did not just say that. Like, really? It's really.
We were sitting in the car waiting, just so we didn't have to go in and like mingle around with a lot of people. And when we were seeing people go by, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot of old people here. This is kind of weird, right?
And we're pushing 40, right? You know that? Like,
so then that's it. We had this conversation the other day about some other topic too. They're like, I don't feel old, and I don't look old. Like, and granted, some of these people were older, because so when they were probably Alanis Morissette or Garbage fans, they might have been like mid-20s, late 20s, and so there was that group, and then there was obviously people like our age that were there as well. But just seeing people walk by, I was like, "This is."
You're like, "Oh, this is happening." Do you know what makes?
And I was like, really "Is this going to be like? Is it going to be like, when we're like 60 and we're going to like a reunion tour of like Olivia Rodrigo or something? Is that the relation of the ages?" But like, I said,
going to an Ariana concert,
this was a little bit of Garbage. It was exciting.
Don't get us flagged.
They won't flag us.
Wilson Phillips did.
They were great. They played all of their hits, obviously. And she was able to rock it. Alanis Morissette coming out. This is the 25th anniversary of the Jagged Little Pill. And so she and they were basically around the same time, Garbage too, like putting them together, and they like
1995 and they've been there. or 6 was that album,
right? Yeah,
right. Yeah.
like elementary
I
school
was
for
10.
me, or I was graduating 6th grade.
I was gonna
Then
say,
this is
like, what, college? Like,
a little bit of Alanis Morissette. Oh my God, she was amazing. Like,
I've watched
best
some of her
concert.
live performances on YouTube, and she is just fantastic. She's so talented.
Her voice is amazing.
She's really short.
Yeah. So she's like 47, I believe.
Yeah,
so she's 10
she looks
years older.
amazing, and she still sounds like she sounds amazing.
Yeah, she's like 10 years older than me, and like I will tell you, at the beginning of the show, she was just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like so much movement on the stage. Then I don't have a clip, but there's multiple points in the show where she like just starts like spinning around and around and around in one spot for like 30 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, how can you do this? And then she just kept singing and kept singing.
Oh my God, I would
like,
be dead. I would have, my soul would have left my body, and I'd just be laying on the ground crying.
She sang all the songs from.
Did you hear her? Oh, you're gonna get us flagged. I just know it.
We just can't monetize.
Yeah.
Not that we are.
Well,
we can't anyway.
Yeah, we can't monetize anyway because
we don't have enough. We need more people. Come on, everybody.
Right.
This is what you miss out on. Okay, it was really cool though to see everyone like singing and like see people like so excited because it is like part of their I don't want to say young adulthood to have been around during this, and then to like be able to experience it in person live is like really, I always find really exciting and interesting to watch people's reaction to things.
I won't go to concerts.
You won't go to concerts?
I won't. I grew up in an all musical family, and music is a huge part of me. But I hate live concerts. I like watching them from afar or on YouTube. I hate being there. I
gotta be there.
I can fucking smell people from 10 miles away, and you can never freaking pee. Like, you cannot find a bathroom half the time, and it's just like, it's just not worth it. After about an hour, I'm like, all right, I don't want to be around people anymore. Done. Like I said, I feel so bad when people are like, how did you do with COVID? I was like, the quarantine part. Oh, I feel kind of bad when I'm like, oh yeah, that part was fine for me, but I understand that was not for everybody. You know, because I mean, yeah, there were definitely days where I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Yeah. But yeah, concerts just aren't for me. But I do love Alanis Morissette, and I probably still know most of the Jagged Little Pill album. Like,
it was amazing. She only has like 2 weeks left of the tour. But like, if anybody has a chance to go see her in the future, go see her. Literally, again, the best concert I've ever been to. Justin also said the same thing. Justin said the only one that would maybe come close would be Elton John, and you can imagine like how much of a presence he brings to the stage.
It's Elton John.
But yeah, so that level, it was just something about her that she had just like a great presence. So yeah, it was a great show. I loved it. I don't have anything else.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything else planned though. All my schedule is now clear. I have no shows. I have no concerts. I have no symphony thing.
You really packed it in there for a couple weeks.
I know. It was like every week we were doing something, and some weeks I had 2 things. It was a lot. But I'm trying to find more things, but no one's really touring now in the late fall, early winter period, and the symphony hasn't really announced their stuff yet. So I'm kind of just like at a standstill. There is TLC coming like in 2 or 3 weeks, but they're coming with a bunch of other groups that I'm not really like a fan of. And so I don't think I would like, I think I wouldn't enjoy it as much. And I also don't want to pay them if I only going to like, the one.
Like the one thing, yeah. Did you hear Alanis Morissette's updated version of Ironic a few years ago? Like, it kind of, it's because, the original song is set in the mid 90s, so it's dated for its time. Whereas she did one in like the mid 2000, it was like 2014, 2015 or something. And it was more about like the impact of social media and how it's changed things. And it was just really funny. I just didn't know. I'm assuming you'd heard it, but you never know.
Yeah. They actually, before, like as her set was beginning, they had like about a 4 to 5 minute video playing of clips of her throughout her entire career. but using ironic a lot. But like all her like interview little segments and things on MTV, because obviously she came during the period of times when MTV was a really big thing. And it was just interesting to see those clips and look back and see how young she was and how far she's come, and she, remains the same. I thought it was amazing. Chris says, I tried live concerts and live sports, but I'm with Matt. After an hour, I'm over all the people, so it's not fun anymore.
Right. Well, and it also depends on the crowd, because a crowd with great energy can be really fun, but it takes a lot out of you, and just, very much aware that, I'm not 19 or 20, and like my classmates are all between 19 and probably 43, 44. And so like the really young ones, they have just like boundless energy. And I'm like,
it was a late concert too. It wasn't over until like 11:15.
Yeah. And like
it started at 7.
It's being out and like that high energy this whole time. And I'm like, no. Even when I was younger, even in my early 20s, I was like, I'm not, nothing. Everybody go have fun, take lots of pictures. Please, God. Okay, on concerts, please, God, do not snap or Insta your entire concert experience. Nobody is watching. Nobody is listening. We are tapping to get the goddamn notification to go away, because some of us are a little OCD. Cody, did you post your entire concert?
No, I did video clip. I have like clips of lots of things.
Well, clips is different. The people I'm talking about, the people who stand there literally, not trying to take a picture. Actually, they're just recording everything. Like,
I didn't.
Ain't
post
nobody
anything.
listen.
Because in my head, I want to like put it all together, and then maybe I'll post something. Because I want everything to be like kind of perfect. I don't like just doing like these little clip. It just like would bug me. And again, I also know that people just like are over it. You might have like 1 or 2 people who will like listen to it. Also, most of the time we were 6th row. So that was really nice.
Oh, wow.
Being row 6.
Congratulations.
So if you snapped
that's good.
From that, if you snap from that, that's a little bit different. But most people are like, like way far in the back and you can't even see the person. And so it's just like not.
All you're picking up is, and there's always some drunk person like right in front of them yelling the lyrics like out of like they're just wrong because they're so hammered. I mean, I'm sure they're having like the time of their freaking life, but when you're sitting there like on flipping through Snap or whatever, you're like, oh man, I really like this person. I don't have to unfollow and mute them.
I'm sure all of you have seen. I have gotten. Matt has sent me some information about our last podcast. Other people have reached out and talked about our recent live podcast. So I'm just gonna play a little clip. This was a little bit of a game. I'm sure y'all all have seen it, but in case you did, if you're watching this replay, or if you are here listening and you have not seen our last episode, go to YouTube, watch it, or listen to it. We talk about sex and everything about sex. It was a really fun, interesting podcast. And this is like a little clip of the little game that we play, foreplay. Matt, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of an icebreaker. This is going to be some foreplay. Also, I look really teen. Are you ready? Matt has no idea what I'm going to ask. First one up. Would you identify yourself as more of a top or a bottom? Or both?
I am verse. I am very equally verse.
Yes, that's what I would say. Should have had like equal. It's fun. Would you say you're more kinky, vanilla, or somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Do you like to dirty talk during sex or
during? No,
okay, guys. He was wrong. On
quiet. Well, I don't mind noise, but I don't like the sound of my voice.
Okay.
Like that. So I think I'm annoying in that context. So I would distract myself. I'd be like, man, dude, you need to shut up.
I do like it. How do you feel about other people's cum? This is the one that got everybody during sex.
On me? I don't mind. I'm fine with it. Chest, stomach, it's fine.
Face?
Hit or miss because there were contacts. So, and also, if you've ever gotten it in your eye, it burns like all hell. And I don't really
so you gotta wear glasses.
Mind it on my face if that's what the person wants. I'm okay with it.
Protective
but it's very
eyewear.
Much like that hole in my eye isn't funny and it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yeah, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Just
yeah. Other than my eyes, I really don't care. Fine.
Rain on me.
So I sent. So Chris said, Matt, share what I texted you when I was going through the gate at work. So I'm going to read. I got this text message from Chris the other day. I'm sorry. It was just really, really, really funny. So I happened to be playing back the episode. So for context, I did not know that's what Cody wanted was. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. I can't. Take me off there. Give me a second.
Matt will be right back, everybody. Oh my God, I almost spilled my drink. Okay, everybody. Introducing Matt.
Doesn't help me. So that's what we call my stutter, and usually it is pretty under control, but it was not for a moment there, and that's what happens when I completely lose my shit. So the other day while I was listening, so I decided to go home and play back the podcast, and hold on, I'm scrolling back here for Chris's text. So I happened to be playing it back, and I hadn't fully. Literally, I had the opening credits playing. Since I didn't know Cody wanted to pick this topic, I had no idea it was coming. So when you listen to it, you can hear me being compulsive and trying to be accurate and honest, because this is usually stuff, Cody, I know what we're going to talk about. So I go into it knowing myself and trying to be focused, and then Cody will edit out my stuttering or anything like that, which usually is in control on lives. You'd hear more of it when we were doing 3 or 4 lives a week. That was a lot. This is what happens when I start giggling, or I start laughing really hard, or I get really emotional or really upset. That's what happens. And you see me doing this, I'm counting my syllables to try to bring myself back to reality. So Chris texted me, "Oh my God, this morning was so funny. I'm rolling up to the gate, and as the guard was looking at my badge, you said, 'Yeah, you can come on my face if you want, but just not in my eye.' And I got the funniest look from the guard, and I just started dying laughing. He slowly gave my badge back and just said, 'Well, you have a good day, sir.'"
Love it.
And so Clint, listen, if you know, Clint has made appearances on the podcast with us, or some stuff I've recorded with him that comes over here. My high school best friend, and he got to listen to it tonight. He texted me and said, one, I didn't know. He goes, I feel like, so I said, I'm really sorry for the trauma this probably inflicted on you, because he had to hear a lot of things about me he wouldn't have known. He goes, I'm more resilient than you think. For instance, when you said "come stings in your eyes," I was more surprised because I didn't know that. And I said, oh, it burns. He goes, see, did not know. But he did say, I can hear in your voice that you did not expect to have to reveal quite so much. Like, God. So if you hear the whole episode, it goes really between kind of comedy. And then Cody's really posing genuine questions for to provide his opinion and asking me mine. And yeah, it's all out there. We also talked about, I think another key point that we talk about sometimes is sexual health. And one of the things we talked about is douches, laxatives, and enemas, and that you shouldn't use them unless you really need them, because it can really mess you up. Yeah. Because if you overdo it, it slows down your body, and it has kind of the opposite effect. It's kind of like when you use lotions too much, your skin stops producing oils. When you overuse laxatives and enemas and things like that, it stops the process of peristalsis, which is what moves everything through your body, like your bowel sounds and all of that. So if you're not moving things through your body, it piles up. And we call that an impaction. The only way to get it out is somebody pretty much lubes up their hand and digs it out for you.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of commentary on that if I were to post that on gay Twitter, yeah, we're not going to post that specifically. But as you guys can imagine, it's not comfortable. And that is just something that I just want to reiterate every chance I get. Do not use these things unless you really, really need them. Use them sparingly. I know if you're already doing it, you're going to do it anyway. I'm just saying that's just that.
So go check that out. We'll do another one hopefully, because hopefully some people will start sending us questions, because some of these things, may be something you don't even know about, you have questions about, and because these were some of the main common questions that people have and people are actually searching for on a regular basis online. So they may seem like everybody knows them, but again,
they really don't.
There's
a lot of questions. Well, there's a lot of questions, I think. We had the answers for them in our early in our gay career, but technology changes, knowledge of health changes as the LGBTQ community becomes more mainstreamed, it's better studied, it's more out there. So best practices and common practices on things are not necessarily the same, So as we learn more and continue to learn more, and your own body too, there's things that people just aren't into, but there's lots of things people do that, everybody else does it.
Yeah.
That's, you don't
doesn't
have to.
mean you need to.
Doesn't mean you need to.
When we're talking about medical stuff, we were talking about earlier about COVID.
Yes, this is exciting, Cody.
Yeah. Merck is saying that their experimental pill cuts the worst effects of COVID-19. It's a potential leap forward. Obviously, we've been looking for an oral drug of something, or any kind of drug actually to help it once you have it. The company's gonna ask health officials in the U.S. and around the world to authorize the pill's use. A decision from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration could come within weeks after that. If it gets okayed, it could be distributed quickly soon after. The pill is taken at home, would ease pressure on hospitals and also help curb those outbreaks. Now, the results of the trial were so strong that an independent group of medical experts actually monitoring that trial recommended stopping it early and going ahead and forward and asking the FDA and other officials around the country to approve this drug for use. And this is like a really big thing. Yeah. Especially around the world where there's not a lot of vaccines right now. So how many people do you think
are going to crack open the pill? Because that looked like a capsule. That looked like one of the unscrew ones. So I wonder how many people are going to open it up and be like, I found my microchip.
When we're talking, you said that earlier about the magnetism. And last week you said something too when I made a joke about something in the vaccine. Why wouldn't you want to be magnetic? I think that would be really cool. Or whatever all these weird things they're saying you can do. I think that would be cool. I don't really understand why that would be a problem. But apparently for them, it is. And they'll take a horse dewormer. I've always wanted to be like a superhero, so.
What kind of superhero would you be, Cody?
Oh, I don't know.
See, you're in Southern California, so would you rescue people from gluten? Would you burst into a bagel shop and
there's
pull everybody at vegan point?
Stuff, yeah. Although there's a lot of
you can. I'm going to be an asshole for a second. You could be, and you burst into rooms and you have to tell everybody in under 5 minutes that you're vegan and then dash off to the next place and tell the next group of people that you are also vegan.
Just to let them know.
Just to let them know. Okay, I'm done being an asshole
now. This is exciting news, Matt.
Actually, I think this is really exciting. And what I really hope for is that, I on the COVID thing, I'm really hoping, besides the pressure on hospitals, that maybe it'll ease a lot of people's injection anxieties. Because it's a little, so I just think that people handle pills better than injections. But man, the people I've seen complaining about it, and some of the people I've seen really complaining, and I'm like, without going into my body count numbers, I'm just like, you have literally sat on my dick. I know you can handle a 1-inch needle. That, for the record, the needle is usually not what hurts. It's the medication itself. Certain meds burn. That's why not every shot hurts and why some do.
Well, I'm just gonna say,
just saying.
exactly what you said. Yes, is true. And also, like, if you've stubbed your toe or done any kind of
Holy crap.
minor thing, that hurts more and hurts longer.
Have you ever had a paper cut, like right here, Cody, like in the webbing of your?
Well, or like Salem cutting me. Yeah.
So hold on Salem for a second. You sent me a picture of him a few weeks ago. That it is probably one of my most absolute favorite pictures you've ever sent. He's kind of sitting on the ground, like L-shaped, and kind of looking at the camera. And it is literally the cutest picture. And I was having a really difficult day, mentally and with school, and I just saw it and it made me actually feel really good. So I just had to point that out. We don't talk. Yeah. I just had to say that because I haven't had the time to tell you via text.
Yeah, I'll have to pull that photo up. Chris is saying, OMG, people and stupid microchip. My little brother thinks the government is already tracking him, but doesn't take into account he has a damn cell phone. Yeah, I know.
I would take a pill every day before I had to get a shot. I got my J&J, but anything I could do to avoid a needle, I'm game for it. And it's one of those things, it's really hard to face because, when you have an anxiety or a fear, a lot of times, finding ways to face your fears is a healthy mechanism, right? But when it comes to something like an injection or a needle, that is not something most of us need regularly. So there's not really a way to face it in a healthy way. So you build up this I'm going to use Harry Potter for a second, fearing the name Voldemort or whatever, the fear of the name, you literally are fearing the thing itself, but you have no way to face it. You have no way to be like, okay, I'm going to start taking steps to work on this thing with my therapist or with myself or whatever route you choose. Mm-hmm. But you can't really do that with an injection. And no injections really hurt that much. Like I've known Chris a really long time, and I can tell you when I cleaned him up from his motorcycle accident, I know that hurt way worse. I literally had to pour peroxide and alcohol on several of his injuries, and they were all over him. I have never been concerned for somebody the way I was for him when he opened the door and I got a really good look at how bloody he was. Like he was he was missing chunks of flesh. When he fell, his leather jacket came up and he glanced his hip off the road. I mean, he took a beating, and Chris and I were quite tiny back then. We were not
teeny tots.
We were technically adults, but I mean, Chris, I think you and I literally could have passed for 12-year-olds. We probably could have passed, honestly, for 9th or 10th graders if we really wanted to. We were like real tiny, and but it's really hard to learn from that and get past it. How on earth do you have a way to practice it? Right, Chris, the motorcycle accident was way worse than the shot. Chris, one thing I use for anxiety, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but one of my favorite movies is Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 edition, because whenever I'm stressed or I get really in my head, it's kind of like I might be having a bad day, but am I running from a horde of the undead that are going to chew me apart and turn me into one of them? No. Now, is that completely absurd? Yes, because 99% of the time, the things I'm in my head about, I've already way overblown it. So it's almost like the comic relief of, no, I'm not running from a horde of the undead because that's not a thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like shadows it's like shadows in the dark until you turn on the lights and it goes away. I thought initially the shot was going to burn or something, but this one didn't hurt. My hep AB, that thing, it stung for about 5 seconds, but but it's more of an injection. Somebody, you have to sit there, let a stranger touch you, and I don't know, it's just not something to handle really well, and it's really hard to get past. So I'm really hoping that a pill form really helps people, and I'm also tired of hearing anti-vaxxers whine.
So this is going to be really helpful, obviously, globally in areas. Because this is going to be more stable. Of course, this is after you already have COVID. So this currently is not a pill that we can take as a vaccine supplement or something of the sort, although they are working on something like that. This would be a therapeutic, which we have none. So this would be a great actual therapeutic that seems to work. So Britney Spears.
Yes.
She's free from her dad. The LA County Superior Court judge finally ruled on Wednesday to suspend Jamie Spears as conservator, saying the situation is not tenable. The situation is toxic. I believe suspension is in the best interest of the conservator. As part of the Wednesday's ruling, Jamie Spears will have to hand over all the records to the newly installed temporary conservator. Now, in his presser on Wednesday, Britney's lawyer said that Britney Spears' career is now firmly back in her hands and she can do with it what she wants. So this is obviously great news, another step forward. The next step would be ultimately they're going to ask for the conservatorship to be dissolved. That would be the next step in this process. But things are moving forward. And so that's exciting that the dad is now just like,
he's gone.
They're like, gone, you're out. That will be very
what
helpful.
I am curious about is, yeah, go ahead.
That obviously came about because there was information that was being put out there by New York Times and others. There's multiple documentaries now that are being released in which a security guard or a firm released information that they had been told to delete stuff off like hard drives or thumb drives, and also that they were using an iPad, the iCloud, synced up to her account so that they could see all the messages and everything she was doing on the iPad, and they kept the iPad locked away in a safe. And Brittany did not know about that, and so everything she was doing was being watched on the iPad. And so that is what ultimately pushed this ruling to happen.
What I'm curious about is, so initially when it started coming about, now this is before Brittany appeared to have come to a full realization that she could request all of this be ended and all of this highlighted and shown and something be done for her, was that she was okay with a co-conservator for like her finances, like to help her manage her money. So I'm curious, like, that if they can end it completely, that she can get people like a proper team, and the people that she did care about, because anybody that stood up for her or was friendly with her or kind to her, they were fired, pushed away, let go, barred, blocked, things like that. And so I'm curious to see, like, I hope that the next people to come into her circle are going to be people that are helpful. Like Bessemer Trust was put on and immediately stepped down. They're like, we were under the impression that Miss Spears wanted she wanted to continue the conservatorship and that she wanted us there. And, it's just crazy that she's one of the most recognizable names on the entire planet. And this happened in plain sight, being worked like a show pony and monitored. And, this is the things that happen to people like Brittany, and like Amanda Bynes is under the same conservatorship, by the way.
California did recently this week, I believe, signed a bill basically that was brought about in the state legislature to help with conservatorships and kind of like remold them into what they are in the state of California, at least. So that is another thing that has been positive that has come out of this, the spotlight being on these conservatorships. Well, we'll keep you updated on that, because I'm sure that's going to be changing in the next few weeks, probably again. But the big thing is that the dad is out. So Matt,
Jamie Spears is finally gone. So I'm curious, because now everything he's done is going to continue to pour out. And again, I hope this enacts a lot of changes, because there's a lot of people in conservatorships that their family members are guardians of them, their money and everything. And there's nothing they can really do about it without a lot of attention or the right attorney or the right judge just taking a closer look and saying, So like elder abuse, people who impaired short term, like a lot of these places, there's plans to put them into conservatorships rapidly, but there's not plans to make sure they're stable and let them go on about their lives.
Yeah.
And I hope this brings about some huge changes in the world of conservatorships and what these medical holds mean for people, because I don't think people understand. Like, if Britney Spears, if this was Brian Spears, this wouldn't have happened. No. It just wouldn't have happened. The Kennedys did this to one of their daughters. Did you know that? They lobotomized one of their daughters and locked her in a facility, and she was left there pretty much to just die. Like I learned about that a couple of years back, and it was just like, what? Yeah, there's a history of this. Yeah, there's a history of this happening, and it's happened all over the world, every culture, every country. I was actually reading about an old one the other day from like the 1800s where this socialite locked her daughter away in her room for 25 years when she was 25 years old. She wanted to marry a poor lawyer instead of one of the wealthy suitors. And she was just the mom had none of it. So it was an ultimatum of marry him or stay. And she goes, to hell with that. We're going to elope. So she locked her, the mom and the girl's brother locked her away for 25 years. And they only found out because somebody wrote an anonymous letter to the police, and the police didn't even want to investigate because this was a very wealthy family, very well-respected family in England. This is a long time ago. And they went into the house, and then they came across a locked room, and it was just detailed that she was just living in a room of filth, as you can imagine. 25 years. Yeah, like this isn't new. It just takes new forms.
Yeah, I think, it can happen to anybody. I think that's the thing that people don't fully understand. Of course, in her case, because she's female, that's what happened. But I'm glad Jamie is off, and then none of the rest of her family has said anything after that happened.
Oh, I bet not. I'm very curious to see, because you remember Jamie Lynn, her younger sister, was like, I was Team Britney basically before it was cool. And I was like... And then Britney released a statement saying, hold on. So I'm very curious to see what happens with the rest of the family now.
So we're going to do this next segment occasionally if there's something. But now there's some crazy things here, Matt. And stock photos in general are weird. But so here's one of them. This one shows a gay couple watching a scary movie before going to sleep on railroad tracks. The caption says the photo shows non-traditional sexual orientation in nature. What? I don't know. What is the point?
Imagine driving down the road. Here we have the Los Homosexuals. While on the left, you can see them flocking down the road together.
It's like, what? Okay, so here's another one. This is the lesbian courtship picture, caption, 2 blonde women gently nibble on both sides of one donut in pink and white frosting.
Did straight people write straight people did this?
I guess lesbian girls play sex games. Matt,
I don't even know what to say to
that. So then there is this one. This picture is intended to illustrate LGBTQ history lessons in school. But I don't even know what they're looking at. It's like when people do stock photos, it's like, what are you doing? Like why? Like there's some of them are so weird. This one is used a lot for depression, apparently.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
A boy crying on a bench holding a rainbow flag.
What? Who hasn't been there? Okay. God.
But let's don't stop there, Matt. Let's throw in an American flag too.
Oh, God.
I guess they're saying that this one then could be used specifically if you're in the United States. I think that you don't need that one. Like, is he just carrying flags around?
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we had a few more.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. We had the women. There's several in this series because a lot of times there's multiple photos of the same people. So this was a series of these lesbians. They're wearing sportswear, covering one eye with one hand, confident smile on face, and surprise emotion. Like, when would you use
confident
this if you were
smile
writing
that
an
we
article?
Can't see because they had him cover one eye. Like, what? This don't make no damn sense.
No. And then we had the last one here was a story accompanying a judge who's opposed to marriage equality if the victims of discrimination are particularly happy about being denied their rights. So stock photos are always just bad, but none of these make sense. Like I don't see any purpose if you were like writing on either side of the case on any of these, why you would use these particular stock photos.
I think I'm a little worse off for having seen those. You know, Cody, I think I don't even know what to say. Like I think the stock tags are somehow worse than the photos.
Yeah.
Boy crying on bench. Oh God.
If anyone ever gets bored, just search stock photos because you can find a lot of interesting things. Real quick, we're going to run through some entertainment news that's happening. So, Matt, our number 5 story, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar are going to perform at the 2022 Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show. It's going to be in the Los Angeles area since the first time in a while. It's going to be 1993 is the last time. I just don't get excited for these halftime shows anymore. And now, like, I don't know, there's like 5 people. I feel like it's always hard when you get like a ton of people in a show trying to.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
The number 4 story was Lil Nas X has confirmed rumors that he actually was dating somebody. He was dating the guy in his music video, but they've already broken up. This is what he had to say.
Now, there are rumors that the lovely actor in the music video is your boyfriend.
We were dating, and we were still in very good terms. You know, we may date again, I'm sure.
Oh, he just left a single parent out there? By himself?
No. I love him. He's amazing. I wanted to like just kind of focus on my music right now.
He really just said he left a single parent out there.
I love that
because
they are playing that up still, and he is in his interviews about it's like his second week of his newborn baby. So, well, he's going to focus on his music. I'm sure he's going to still hang out with his ex now, and they're going to have fun. He's young, enjoy life.
For real. Exactly.
Lil Nas X continued. He also on BBC. He did a Jolene cover.
It was I loved it.
Did you love it?
I loved it.
Dolly Parton actually saw it, and she was like, I was so excited when someone told me that Lil Nas X had done my song Jolene. I had to find it and listen to it immediately, and it's really good. Of course, I love him anyway. I was surprised, and I'm honored and flattered. I hope he does good for both of us. Thank you, Lil Nas X. Yeah, you know Dolly. She loves obviously she loves him a lot, but I like how she's like does good for both of us because she cashes those checks whenever someone does her song, just like I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. She was like, go ahead, sing it all. Let me keep cashing those checks. The number 2 story was a Big Brother story. Big Brother, this was kind of big actually online, is they crowned their first black winner after 21 years, which I guess it's not surprising. This is America. But Xavier Prather, the 27-year-old lawyer or attorney, won.
That's awesome.
9-0. Actually, I've been watching this season, and the final like 5 members were all black contestants on the show. They immediately when they got in the show, they said, we want a black winner. And so they gathered together, and each week they worked to kick everybody else out. Usually it was always white muscle guys that win. They kicked them out first. The final 5, they were called, their alliance that they had in the house was called the Cookout. And they made it. And I was so excited for them and so excited that he could win that. And then the number 1 story probably in entertainment is Disney and Scarlett Johansson have made up. Obviously, she sued them, and Disney has come together and said that they're pleased that they've been able to come to a mutual agreement with Scarlett Johansson regarding Black Widow. They do say we appreciate her contributions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and look forward to working together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror, that at one point they said that she was no longer a part of. Yeah. I think they had pressure from a lot of other Marvel people saying like, yeah, why don't you pay her? Because this looks bad. Also, as we talked about when it first happened, this doesn't usually happen because they deal with the problem before it gets out into the public. But what's that?
It's there. Well, so because it's Friday, I've been home working all day on school and everything. When you sent me the transcript of what you wanted to do today, most of the things I was like, yes, oh my God. Because, of course, Cody doesn't have to bother. 99% of the time, I probably know 90% of what's already on here. I just don't know what Cody's going to say about it. But I was interested. I saw the Finsta thing that we're about to talk about. So Cody loves talking about TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok. I have not posted on it. I am on TikTok, though, because Cody posted from the Coma Cast, and I'm present for a Candyman trailer. I just don't say anything. So a senator asked this Facebook safety chief to commit to ending Finsta, Finsta. So for the uninitiated, it's a slang term for a fake account. Like people that have, I think people usually have it for like a burner account, so they'll have their own Instagram, but it's theirs, but they don't use it. It's kind of like the Instagram version of alts. Like, we'll have alt accounts without our names on them, so we can kind of just move through without everybody seeing our likes. If they would just freaking take away everybody seeing our likes, we could probably all have our main accounts just be one, but here we are. But yeah. So
yeah, it was
but a senator,
awkward.
the safety chief had to explain that it's slang and it's not a real thing. It's just accounts. But again, we have people in the Senate who are largely out of touch. Right down to Senator or to Joe Manchin having people kayak to his yacht while he stood on the back of his yacht talking to them for a meeting. And if that is not the epitome of American culture, I don't know what the fuck is. But Cody, the next one I'm going to say it, but I really am excited to hear you tell me about it. So Cody said, this sound reminds cats why they were worshipped in ancient Egypt. And this obviously tracks for our brand here because now with Keith living in our house, we have his cat Kitty, whose nickname is now Kitty Jingles because he does wear his collar full time.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, and it's
actually... Y'all have to play this song and see what happens for all of y'all's cats.
So what is this?
So it's just like a sound and you play it and many cats will react to it. If you look on TikTok and search, sound that makes cats think they're ancient Egyptians, basically you get a whole list of things. And so this is an example.
All right, okay.
So
you'll have to send me that because now I need to play it for the cats and see what all three of them do.
Yeah, they think they're like back in ancient Egypt. I thought it was so cute and so funny.
So for those who haven't seen Kitty, by the way, we talk about him a lot here, and I'm texting Cody some updated pictures. He's a very sweet little ginger kitty. And he's settled in very well. He is fluffed back up. He had lost a lot of weight, and he was a little stressed when he got here, but he's doing better now. But he's literally adorable, and I can't wait to play. I need to play this TikTok and see what they do now. I'll try to play it off my phone and have David record it to see what they do.
Now I need to know it right when it happens because. Right. It could be anything. I'm going to see if I can pull this up.
It might not post, but
before we head out. Let's see.
But while Cody's doing that, one thing I know we talked about, sometimes we'll talk about, what are we kind of doing this week? So I'm still working on this book Clint recommended to me that I have. It's a comedy. Oh, geez. It's called The Story of God by Chris Matheson. He's the co-creator of the Bill and Ted movies, and it's basically God's internal dialogue as he's creating the world, and it's really funny. But yeah, I'm still working on that. That's my thing, and also,
I think mine is, what am I loving? Well, I have no concerts looking forward to, but I think tomorrow we're going to the beach. I think it's going to probably be our last beach day because it is starting to get cooler at the beach. So going to enjoy one last beach day. This evening, we're going to have a few people from the neighborhood over to sit around the fire and chat. So that should be fun. All my Halloween decorations are up outside, so I'll have to post photos next week. So all y'all can see it. I finally got all of that set up last night. So this will be the first night I turn everything on. I have not even seen it yet, so I'm excited about that. So I guess that's what I'm loving. And then also, this is Kitty. This is one of the photos. Such a proper little boy.
He is a little gentleman. You see his little jingle collar. It's really cute.
That is so cute. But we thank all of you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it. Keith wants that sound. I'll send it to Matt so that y'all can test this out.
Yeah, I want to play this with the cats and kind of see what happens.
Of course, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all of that. We each have our own. I'm sure most of you are following us. Mine's Cody Rodriguez and John Cody Rodriguez, and on pretty much every platform. And so I hope all of you have a great weekend. We'll be back on Wednesday with a new podcast episode. We're going to be talking about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court actually goes into session. Well, it's planned to go into session on Monday, but Brett Kavanaugh has a breakthrough case of COVID, so I do not know if they're going to delay the opening of the Supreme Court. But that does open, and we talk about some of the big cases affecting LGBTQ community that are going to be going forward that we need to watch, obviously, because at this point, there's nothing we can do with the cases, but
right, we just have to observe.
That we can do.
It's really stressful watching, especially so after spending the last 2 years, all of my extra time was kind of dedicated to watching these issues. Even if we didn't post and talk about them here, we rolled around these topics between us, and are we going to post it? We would record stuff for it and go, no, not the right time. We don't have enough information. It'll just create more stress for people hearing it. And so now with school being such a dominating force in my life, I kind of have to turn off stuff during the day so I can focus on one thing. And then I go to read and try to catch up. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I have to compartmentalize it. But yes, thanks everyone. Obviously follow us, hit like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. And it's been a really fun season 3 so far. It's been very different. It's been a completely different feel. Each season has been a completely different vibe and experience. And we'll be doing.
And stay tuned, everybody. In 2-ish, 3 weeks. Not sure yet exactly on the date. We have the interview I did with David, and we talk about asexuality. Matt hasn't heard it yet.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't even edited yet,
and I cannot wait to hear it. I wasn't even home when it was recorded, so I have zero idea.
So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff happening. Of course, new episode on Wednesday, Supreme Court, and we'll be here live again on Friday at 5:00. Of course, if y'all have anything y'all want us to talk about, send it to Matt or send it to me. Let us know. Yeah. We'll chat about it. If you have questions, again,
I'm sure I can find an opinion on something. And if I don't, I'll go research it and develop one.
Next week I do. Next week I keep forgetting. I have bad news about Buc-ee's. And we shouldn't support Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
But I'll tell everybody more about that next week. But everybody, hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.